Welcome everyone once again to Women of Insurance episode 6. Thank you guys for joining us this lovely Wednesday evening. Um, whether you've been with us since episode 1 or this is your first time tuning in, we are so grateful to have you here in this room with us.
That's right. So to our to our returning listeners, welcome back to the community. To our new guests, welcome to a space where we can dive deep into what it means to be a woman or man who leads and protects.
And today's episode is very special. For us life insurance agents, we talk about protection in the industry, protecting assets, protecting families. But today we're going to be talking about protecting your peace and your purpose.
And our guest today, she is a powerhouse who bridges worlds that rarely meet. She's a U.S. Army veteran. She with a master's in cybersecurity, but she also holds a master's degree in integrative health. She is the CEO of the Peace Dialogue, a practitioner of the emotional code, and a facilitator of sacred retreats in the Andes.
And so please help us welcome the incredible Veronica Guyanay, right? Am I saying that?
Guayanay.
Guayanay. Where does that derive from?
It comes from the Andes.
Hey,
It's
okay, okay.
southern Ecuador. I recently found out last year, maybe Saragudo. It's
Mm,
my dad's last name, but my mom is from the north.
Wow.
awesome.
It sounds
So
like you
Vero,
traveled a lot.
I know, world traveler over here. Vero, we are so thrilled to have you here as our special guest. I know you and Ezra had some one-on-one time. Um, but I've been able to learn more about you through her. Um, would you share with our guests, our audience, a quick history about yourself and the services that you provide?
Sure. So, hi everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Vero, and I help people get clear in their mind, heart, so they can live a more purposeful life. And how do I do that? Is using nonviolent communication, yoga therapy tools, as well as tantric tools. The tantric tools helps you to embody, to like really live in your body. The yoga therapy tools allows you to, if there is too much in the mind, train the mind to become focused. Maybe practices from the Yoga Sutras. And nonviolent communication allows you to get clear with yourself by utilizing different or the language of emotions and the language of needs and expressing yourself in a way that you can become clear with your emotions and what you're needing, and also so you can create a clear request without sounding angry. So I would say in NVC, we view anger as sacred. There's needs behind the anger. That's why anger happens or disappointment. And NVC helps you to identify what you were wanting to experience, which could have been, cooperation or connection or peace of mind or clarity or efficiency. It could be any of those. And when you get clear, you can express. And that's how the inner clarity and inner safety and inner trust comes.
So thank you for sharing that. I think that's it's I will be open with everyone. I do have anger issues, and I think it's something that I have personally learned from my older folks, my surroundings, especially my parents. Um, I also came from a military background, so it was a lot of structure, but a lot of things that were needed as well behind that, right? But hearing your bio and learning about you through, not only our one-on-one time together, it's just a fascinating mix. You went from complete structure, right? The logical world of the military, cybersecurity, master's degrees, that's a lot of discipline, um, to the intuitive world of holistic healing. How does that logic and structure complement the work you do now in helping people find their flow?
Hmm. I love structure because I believe structure gives you enough space
Mm,
for creativity. What do I mean by
Mm.
that? So, having like a template gives you kind of like the steps, and then you can add a little bit of your personality or whatever it is needed in order to, I don't know, get results. And how does the structure relate to holistic healing? So I would have certain structures such as, you know, different tantra techniques or different yoga therapy techniques, and even NVC has a technique.
mm,
So as a soldier, good at following orders, so I have these structures that I follow in a
mm,
way that still allows me to have the structure and the flexibility for the needs of the person that is in front of me or the group that is in front of me.
mm,
Mm. So like having the structure is kind of like the skeleton, and then you allow them to use your creativity to help them find their flow. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. And I'm
oh, sorry.
curious, it's okay. I'm curious about the veteran side of your soul.
Hmm.
In our industry, we deal with a lot of high stress situations in our industry of insurance. And we also have many veterans who are our business partners. Um, is there any specific mental toolkit or discipline you carried from the Army into your work as a healer?
I would say so, especially when it comes to mentoring or leadership, because as a leader, I was supposed to take care of my soldiers, take care of my people.
Mm,
And taking this leadership that I learned, I take it into my work. That even if I don't have any employees right now, but in the future, taking care of them is priority because if they are all set in the army, ready for the mission, then they can perform better. And I hope that answers your question. I'm not really sure if I veered off.
Hmm.
yeah, no, anything that goes. I mean, we're here to have a genuine conversation, right? Um, and I think that you put yourself in front of a lot of high achievers, especially previous soldiers or veterans or whichever clientele, like me in that sense. At what moment in your life did you realize that traditional success, the degrees and the careers, it just wasn't enough, leading you to found the peace dialogue or the emotional code?
Mm, I love this question.
Yay.
So when it comes to, working at traditional places, they were missing, I think, like the human part. And maybe I worked in some civilian jobs also after I got out of the service. And for me, there was a lot of leadership missing. I worked at like a juice shop, and then the woman would come and like yell at her employees.
Mm,
And there was a lady that was pregnant. So I was very sad because I was thinking that this woman that was pregnant was getting yelled at, the baby sucking in all that negative energy.
mhm,
So I guess when I say that is that I did not particularly like working at the juice shop with that with that type of leadership. And before that, I also worked at after I got out of the service, I worked at a awesome job. Um, it was on base and it was great, but it wasn't really aligned with what I wanted to do because I wanted to become a yoga teacher.
Mm,
So it was just 9 to 5. And although great employees, I still keep in touch with my coworkers. I absolutely love them. I did not want to spend my hours working for someone else, even if they took care of me.
mm. Gotcha. I think for all of us here, we went into this industry because we may had the same situations in our 9 to 5 where we're not treated accordingly, or we're working with other people who don't treat others accordingly, right? And I think we can all agree that we are in an industry where we are in the service of helping other human beings, you know, and that becomes a trickle effect, right?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, thank you for sharing that. Anyone, I just want to remind our guests, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, interject, or type it in the chat to get to know more about Vero. Do not be shy, okay?
Yeah, do
Has
not be
high
shy.
leadership skills, and we are all called to show up as leaders. If you need some help with leadership, now is the opportunity. This whole podcast is the opportunity for you to ask questions.
Um, so Vera, one of the things you specialize is the emotional code.
Yes.
Um, so for those of us that are in insurance, we see how stress manifests physically in our clients. How do these trapped emotions usually show up in high achieving individuals before they find you?
So it can be seen as burnout, it can
Mm,
be seen as anxiety and a sense of restlessness.
Mhm,
So the emotion code is a type of energy work.
mm.
I would say parallel to Reiki.
mm,
Ooh,
And you can use magnets to basically magnet and also connecting with the subconscious according to Bradley Nelson, the chiropractor doctor that developed this. And I would identify it and just clear the emotions that are stuck in the body.
mm.
nice.
That's
Reiki
cool.
has been around. I believe, Tiffany, your husband is actually a certified Reiki healer as well, right? Andrew Menard, if you
Yep.
did not know that, um,
Hmm.
certified in Reiki. But it's very powerful. I think, just like Wi-Fi, we don't see it, but we know it works. And I think that
Hmm.
everyone should believe that these energies are there, right? And there's things that can help either release or increase or subdue these energetic fields. Um, Vero, you also teach nonviolent communication, NVC, in a fast-paced business environment. How can, using this tool, NVC, change the way we interact with our team or even our clients during difficult claims or conversations? I see it as like, as leaders, we tend to get frustrated with how to empower, our people below us without having to kind of step on them or get too prideful or egotistical, or just being more careful. How can we use that tool of NVC to communicate?
Yes, so I would say NVC is so effective. At the same time, it does take some time to learn. There's the language of emotions and the language of feelings to learn. And to your question about how maybe to get the the boss and the, I guess, subordinate in the same page,
Mhm.
I would say best for the leader to learn and also hear the needs behind what the subordinate wants to experience. What do I mean by that? For
Mhm.
example, if the subordinate is not complying with what was asked, instead of labeling them as non-compliant or lazy or whatever other label, you can maybe see it as, are they, with curiosity, are they feeling sad? Do they want to experience more clarity on what he's doing? So the beautiful thing about NVC is that you go at it with empathy.
Mhm.
And I believe empathy moves so much. It uses empathy as well as curiosity,
Mhm.
with also using clear language. So, I wouldn't say precise, but the language of emotions and the language of needs can help the person get more clear as to what they actually are wanting. Because a lot of the time, people don't know how to express with words what they're feeling
Mhm.
or what they're needing, or also making requests. Because sometimes having a one-on-one conversation can have some tension. But what NVC does is assesses my needs, your needs, and creates a psychological bridge to create deeper connection, deeper understanding. And I find that so effective. And that's the part about the military, because I love effectiveness and the structure.
Nice, nice.
Thank you. Pero, I know I really like that you touched on the empathy portion as, part of communication and being a leader. We have a question. Eugene says, what is that acronym? NVC. So nonviolent communication.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah. And so many leaders think of, communication tools as like soft skills. Why are they actually very powerful leadership skills?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, many leaders think communication tools, they're considered as soft skills.
Mhm.
Why do you think that, why would you consider communication skills as a powerful leadership skill?
Communication, I would say, is everything. It moves everything. Without communication, it's hard to move forward. It's hard to get the mission done, I would say.
We have another question. How do you recommend us guy leaders be more in tune with our feelings? Eugene goes, I need work on that. LOL.
Hell yeah, I
LOL.
like this. I
That's the
like this
acronym for
question.
laughing out loud, but I don't see you laughing. There you go.
I love this question, Eugene. So, what I recommend for guy leaders is to learn the language of feelings. I can send a PDF right now. That way, you guys can look through it and maybe just as a fun exercise, just express, look through the list and say how you're feeling. So, let me do that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
What a treat.
you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, there we go.
He
And
he
then,
commented, Ken needs help with this too. Lance is in touch with his feelings. And if you look at the chat, guys, Vero has sent it over. So this is a great
yeah,
way, checklist, right?
yeah.
Wow.
So open it up and then you can look at it. The top one says feelings associated with met needs. Needs in NVC are also known as values. And the
Hmm.
bottom one is needs associated with unmet needs. Sorry,
Hmm.
feelings associated with unmet needs.
Wow.
Oh,
So maybe right now you guys can look through them and then feel in and maybe popcorn and say, right now I'm feeling.
Ooh,
oh.
feelings associated with met needs. So I think I'll popcorn this one. I'm feeling lighthearted because there's a sense of hopefulness from this conversation. Um, I am feeling disconnected as well, feelings associated with unmet needs. I'm feeling disconnected because I feel distant from food. I'm hungry. That was me popcorning, okay? So that's me being vulnerable. Tiff, do you
I
want
think,
to?
yeah, right now I feel feelings associated with needs met. I feel mellow is part of peaceful. I think mellow because I feel, I'm in a safe space with Ezra. I'm safe with my team here. And then unmet needs. Let me look at this. I do feel a little fatigued and depleted. Um, it is a little bit later on the East Coast. We're both on Eastern Standard Time, so I've worked a long day, so I am feeling a little bit um, depleted, but I think this conversation is energizing me.
Sweet. I love this tool. And for those of you, I will be email blasting this with the the guidance of Vero with everyone else. But this is a great way. Eugene, do you want to say anything with what Vero shared?
Yeah, so is the exercise here to like I guess basically just try to identify what you're feeling? Is that like
Yes.
it says exercise and identifying your emotions in the moment?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So let me peruse this
Yeah.
list.
So you don't have to rush. You can look through and feel in. What I love about these feeling words is that, for example, if you make a feelings guess, are you feeling angry? Like your body will tell you no. And then when it's the more correct feeling, your body will tell you a yes. So, for example, for Eugene, I would say, are you feeling anxious?
No.
See, it worked. Your body told you, and you voiced it too. So,
Yeah.
would you be feeling engaged?
Yeah,
There you go. Using clear feelings language. Would
simple.
Kenneth
I
like to
like it.
try?
Ken, would you like to try the feelings association
Exercise?
here, the exercise? It's the PDF is on the chat right now. I think you can click on it.
Unfortunately, I don't have any feelings.
That's why I said Ken needs help with this too.
I do need help with feelings.
Okay, so the next part is we identified the feelings. So now I'm gonna send you the needs. So I heard
Oh,
Tiffany mention she was feeling a little tired. So might you be wanting to experience more rest?
ooh, yes, more rest.
Ooh.
I
Beautiful.
love rest.
Yeah. And nourishment. Maybe you might want to experience more nourishment or connection.
I like
Yeah.
this. I
Awesome.
I feel as if, having this is a reminder that we have a large vocabulary, yet we often forget about using words that can be specific to that moment or that sensation or being able to relate, right?
Mhm,
Because we can say peace, like I see here you have the column peace. What does that mean for each of us? Peace of acceptance, peace because we have balance, peace because there's beauty, peace because of communion, and all those different words mean they're in that network of what peace can be, right? But it's the
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
peace can be so different for everyone else, right? um
Mm-hmm.
mhm. And
someone
there's
else.
different ways. Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No,
Different
no,
ways
you're
of
fine.
achieving that peace. That's where I'm getting from what you were saying, Ezra.
Yeah.
It's all these different aspects, but they all filter up to peace. We just want more peace.
Yeah. Like an example, like for me, I find peace when my OCD kicks in and there's order in the house, right?
Mm,
Like cleanliness.
I
Someone
love.
else's peace could be just I have more faith, right? Or their faith or something like that. So that's
Mhm.
where I connect with, right? These are
And
great.
the cool thing about NBC is that we go away from labels. Like, for
Mm,
example, saying OCD or saying
mm,
some type of, um, I guess, like disorder. If we don't look at the labels, we kind of just see, oh, like you mentioned, OCD might be meeting the need of order, or
mm,
let me look at the list. Could be also meeting your need for respect or
mm,
safety. So we go away from labels because labels are can be judgmental, and we try to, like less judgment, less judgment, less judgment, so to get to the root
Mm-hmm.
and having the feelings words and the needs words to what you to what it means to you, you can express yourself with more clarity and you can
mm,
request exactly what you need. Like, for example, Tiffany had mentioned that she was feeling a little tired, and I mentioned, might you be needing rest? So then she can then say, this is how I experience rest. I experience rest with
mm,
8 hours of sleep, a tea, so I
Mm-hmm.
request or I would like to experience rest
mm.
and a clear request. I would like to sleep 8 hours. So would you be willing to
Wow.
maybe I mean, I wouldn't say leave me alone, but give me that space to so I can receive the 8 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love this. There's more uh autonomy into who you are as a person.
Yes, choice, autonomy, and self-trust. Because I believe
Mm-hmm.
once you are clear on your mind and your heart, you can really trust yourself to give yourself what you want. The other thing about
Mm-hmm.
NVC is there are 4 steps. So the first part is observation. So for example, if there's mess, observation, kind of like a scientist, you're not labeling as this is bad or this is good. It's just like I observe that there are clothes on the floor. I
Mhm.
feel I feel frustrated and I want to experience more order. Would you be willing to pick up the shoe and the t-shirt, something like that, that it opens up dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice.
And
Oh my
so,
gosh, I'm
but
loving all of this. This is
yeah,
so
I'm loving this. But you mentioned, self-trust. A lot of our agents listening, who are trying to build their own businesses. What is one daily practice to help us trust our intuition? Again, when the world is telling them to just look at the numbers.
Hmm. Let me sit with it for a little bit. And your question is how,
How can we trust our intuition? What is something we can do daily to trust
mhm,
our intuition when the world is telling us to just look at numbers?
mhm. I would say different people have different needs, but what I'm hearing is a need for safety.
mm,
Mm,
And I would say each person experiences safety differently. So I would say it's an individual, uh, how the person experiences safety. Maybe a person needs to talk to themselves and say, a mantra that really hits them, but
Mm-hmm.
not just a mantra that they picked up from somewhere and they're gonna just repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Because sometimes, you can pick up a mantra, but it doesn't stick because it's not your truth. So I would say it's very individualized, but I would say what you can do as an embodiment practice, it would be to maybe close your eyes and put on a song and just move your body, because moving your body really helps to move the energy through. In Tantra, we use breath, sound, and movement. And I used to be stiff, but I started to dance more, and I can really feel the power in moving my body. So I would say move the body and use breath, sound, and movement to release. Like, for example, if there was one day that I was feeling, just woke up angry, and I put on angry music, and then I was, like angry. There was a pillow, I was hitting it, maybe a little bit of screaming into the pillow, and the body needs to process emotions. So I
Mm,
would say uh, what I did once and what we practice here too is maybe a playlist with various emotions.
mm.
That way, the emotions get moved through the body.
That's smart. That's very smart. I think I can relate because there's moments where I need, lately I haven't been listening to any type of music, going to the gym to do workouts, but whenever it's a leg day, I think on my way to the gym, I will play a very tough, heavy playlist to get me into that area of like just releasing those emotions, right? And motivating me into kind of having more strength, you know. But majority of the time, that's also a frequency thing, you know. Majority of the time, I personally don't like to really listen to a lot of hip hop or rap because it's not the frequency that I want to be emitting in my body. And I think a lot of people can relate nowadays, you know. Of course, there's hip hop, and we're all majority of us are from the Bay Area, and the 80s and 90s were amazing, right? In the artistic field. But I think nowadays it's just we have to be mindful with what we're listening to and what we put in. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, be selective, have choice as to what food you nourish your mind, what food you nourish your body, what information you feed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love all these because it's just, as leaders, how do if we're trying to help other people, we need to help ourselves first. And
Hmm.
I love all these reminders. Um, but you put yourself in a situation, you're actually calling from Ecuador. Let's talk about your recent, I think last we spoke, you said that you were at this retreat or something called Love as Medicine in Malacatos, Ecuador. But where are you now? Like,
Yes.
you're in a training slash retreat right now, going live with us. So you're taking the time off of your training just for us to sit here and get to know you and help us out.
This is true. And this is something that's important. Like, both things are important for me.
Thank you
So
so
right
much.
now I'm in Ecuador in a space called Durga's Tiger School.
Ooh.
And I strongly feel this is where I truly learned embodiment. And like, for example, today we had artistic expression class, and just we were talking about being a clown and being okay with having allowing the body to have different emotions and looking silly. Not saying to take this into the business, but it doesn't hurt to bring in more joy
Mm,
and bring that human side. And I would say always remember that emotions are never the problem. They are signals as to what's behind.
mm.
And connecting to what's behind the feelings is, I believe, where the true authenticity is.
Nice.
I love that you talk about embodiment and how like the feelings just move through our body and having that space to do that. Um, I know you talked about, I know in your school right now, do you guys, is it mostly women or is it co-ed? Um, and is there like any type of, I guess, integration of the feelings when they are released from the body?
I would say yes. So there is both men and women, and there is integration as well. We have self-study hours
Hmm.
and different classes that teach us more deeply about maybe tantric wisdom or psychology of chakras. And the awesome thing about the school is that it mixes shamanism, yoga, and arts. Like, for example, yesterday we had a temazcal, and it was amazing to experience both yoga, shamanism, well, three, yoga, shamanism, and arts.
So,
Nice. Do you guys do any like with your training right now, do you guys do any like plant medicine or anything like that? Like any I know that you said the Love as Medicine retreat and Malacatos, you know, you guys had a like a cacao ceremony. Did you guys do any like plant medicine stuff in your training?
Yes. So there, like yesterday in the Temazcal, we had the sacred tobacco in the way that
Cool.
I believe is taken in Ecuador. In
Ooh.
Ecuador, the tobacco, grandfather tobacco, would be taken, it's liquid through the nose and it just cleans the passages. And there are other options for plant medicines such as Huachuma, which is San Pedro, and
Mm.
also ayahuasca.
Oh
So
wow.
So it's great. And the Love as Medicine retreat, that was in southern Ecuador, and that is a very special friend of mine
Okay.
who trained with the Otavalo people here in north of Ecuador. And she and her partner are able to host ayahuasca, Wilca, and San Pedro.
You
So
will
they're
be seeing Tiffany and I there sometime soon.
like I'm very curious.
Yes, awesome. It's Ecuador has a lot of, plant medicine. We have a lot of different cultures here, and I don't know if I told you this part, but I was born in Ecuador, and there is also when my mom moved me and my sisters to the United States, there was that period of like being an immigrant and learning a new culture, like leaving my culture behind to learn a new culture. So I believe that pain created my want to be able to serve others because I needed to be clear with myself. I needed to be able to move in my body because I believe that when I lived in Ecuador, people are always dancing here and like there's a certain type of joy in the air, even if there's so much poverty and just there's both like poverty but also richness at the same time.
Mhm, mhm,
And when my mom moved us, then, there's no real winter here. So it's kind of like the fall all the time, the fall or the spring. So when I moved to New Jersey, it was cold and my body kind of tightened and I just did not move anymore because people don't go out to the streets and dance collectively.
mhm,
What I mean by that is, for example, there's holidays here such as Carnaval or Fiestas de Quito and everyone goes out to the street and they're just dancing out in the music. Now in the US it's a little bit different. So I believe that's where my body became a little bit stiff. And I come back to explore my land, and I find that I am able to fully feel and fully learn to embody. Plus, the technique of NVC helps me to have more clarity. So that's how the Peace Ally was born.
Nice. That's amazing.
That's beautiful. Now, I know you just touched on like your coming to the piece of dialogue. How do you want to use that vision to change the way we communicate in our families and in our businesses over the next few years?
I love that. Okay. Number one, listen. That's the key. One of my teachers says, what empathy is not. Empathy is not advice, it's not analysis, it's not fixing, it's not data gathering, it's not reassuring, it's not discounting, it's not minimizing, it's not arguing, it's not comparing, one-upping, storytelling, changing the subject, explaining, or correcting. It's purely listening. So I believe if we listen more with curiosity, guess feelings, guess needs, make clear requests, listen to the other person, um, it expands to inner clarity, then with the partners, with the business, and
Nice. Thank you so much, Vero. So, wow. I don't know about you guys, but I've learned so much. And to our viewers, we hope you've learned so much as well to tap into that leadership role. Number one, give back to yourself. I've learned about more about communication, you know, getting rid of those boundaries or those little boxes that we put ourselves in. Vero, thank you so much for being here and sharing your light with our community. You know, you've shown us that being a leader is also about the peace we carry into every single room and every difficult conversation that we have in the present or in the future. And so thank you.
thank you for
And to
having
our,
me.
of course, and to our listeners, we hope today's episode gave you a new perspective on what it means to protect yourself, not just with a policy, but through the inner alignment and self-trust that Vero talked about today.
And so I've shared on the chat QR codes in which you can follow Vero and support her business as well. Please feel free to download that flyer, share it with whoever might need this. But before you head back to your desk and your families, you know, we do want to challenge you. Don't let this be just another podcast episode. If you felt a tug towards Vero's work, reach out to her. Learn how to release those trapped emotions holding you back to get to your next level. And yeah.
And if you found value in today's bridge between cybersecurity and our soul's work, please share this episode with another human in your industry who who needs a reminder that they can be both powerful and soft.
And join us next time as we continue to highlight the voices of women who are changing the face of business. Our next guest speaker will be our very own Erica Rodriguez. Erica Rodriguez is a senior field director and acquisition qualifier, recognized for her authentic leadership. She has a strong faith and passion for helping people grow. Her personal experiences and belief in God have shaped her purpose-driven approach to mentorship and connection. So in the group chat here on Zoom, you can get Vero's information. I'm so sorry, Vero. What was it again? How do you pronounce your last name?
Guayanay.
Guayanay at thepeacedialogue.org. Vero.guayanay at thepeacedialogue.org. I will be sending those of you who joined an email of all her contacts as well. I am Ezra.
And I'm Tiffany.
And this
And
is
this is Women of Insurance.
Where women and men lead, protect, build, and rise together.
Together.
Thank you so much for joining us again. We will see you in 2 weeks. Vero, have an amazing evening. Enjoy yourself. Thank you guys so much.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.